Hello to everyone, all the listeners tuning in today. Welcome back to another episode of the Jana podcast.
We are your hosts, Hannah Arboleda.
And Jami Casacop.
And today, we're back to share another discussion on current events and social issues. We're happy to bring you guys another episode.
Yay! Yep, so we hope you guys are looking forward to it. This episode that we have planned for today is actually going to be an interesting one, I think. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Oh, really? And how interesting, if ever?
Very interesting that we've even invited a couple of guests to share their thoughts to spice up the conversation, you know. But before we introduce the topic, let's have our guests introduce themselves to the audience. So let's start up with Eunice. Welcome.
Yay!
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Eunice Cruz, but everyone calls me Uni. Thank you so much, Jamie and Hannah, for inviting me on today's podcast. I'm excited to share my thoughts and learn from the other guests' insights as well.
Thank you so much. We're so happy to have you as well, and we can't wait to hear what you have in store for us. So with that, next we have...
So, ako na lang siguro. So, hi sa mga listeners out there of the Jana podcast. So, I am Chelzea Mendoza, or you guys can just call me Chels for short. So, sana, please bear with me kasi I'm feeling kind of nervous right now since this is first time. So, I am hoping na lang na that this will go well. Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much, Chels, for coming here. And don't worry, please treat the Jana podcast like a safe place.
Yep, exactly.
We're all friends here, so don't worry about that. And next, we'll move on to Samuel.
Hello, my name is Samuel, and I have to say it here, man. Jamie, Hannah, I'm a big fan of your podcast, man. Thank you very much for inviting me here. I'm very honored, man.
So, thank you, and we're honored as well to have you with us. And lastly, we have...
Hello, people that are listening to Jana's podcast. I am Elvin Joseph A. Geluz, but you can call me EJ for short.
All right, thank you.
Welcome to the podcast.
Or Elvin, thanks for joining us here today. We're happy to have all of you.
And now that everyone's here, once again, we're all glad that, well, you're all here. Now, before we begin the discussion, we should first introduce our main topic, right, Jamie?
Yep, and so the issue we have here today for you guys is the disruption of the Philippine economy ever since the start of the global pandemic. As most of us know, ever since the country went on lockdown, people have been forced to work from home and make a living during these challenging times. Unfortunately, a lot of people were affected and even lost their source of income because of this. And they also continue to struggle to this day. With that being said, we'd like to know from our guests, do you genuinely think that the Philippines' unemployment rate has gone up or increased this pandemic, or do you think it's just the same as before the pandemic?
Ako na lang din siguro muna. Siguro for me, based na lang siguro on the things that I have observed and read on the news, bago pa magka-pandemic, like grabe na talaga yung issues regarding unemployment. Alam niyo na, it is something na matagal ng problema sa bansa na hindi nasusolusyonan. Kasi alam niyo, makikita niyo sa news, parang kada taon, pataas ng pataas yung rate ng unemployment here in the country.
Agree ako dyan kasi dati nga, di ba, taas na ng unemployment rate dito sa Philippines. So, what more ngayon during the pandemic? It's just really sad to see na ang daming mga Pilipino ang nagsasuffer dahil dito.
Diba? So what more pa ngayong pandemic na parang ang daming companies yung nagsara, nagbawas ng mga employees, hindi naman lahat may kakayahan na makahanap agad ng kapalit na trabaho. Kaya talaga alam yun, naniniwala ako. And syempre, based din naman sa mga news na nababasa ko, talagang mas tumaas yung unemployment rate here in the Philippines ngayong pandemic.
Actually, regarding that, I saw an article once pa nga about provincial bus drivers na itong pandemic who were laid off and pinaglalaban nila na makuha nila yung separation pays nila from their respective employers. Sa totoo lang, di naman talaga natin ito may pagkakaila. With everything shifting online, lalo na sa classes, madami akong nababalitaan. Especially maintenance men na nawala ng trabaho kasi di naman nagagamit yung physical institution. So basically, there is nothing to maintain. Pero kung tutuusin, minsan, di din natin kasi pwedeng sisihin yung employers. Considering na nawalan talaga ng tao sa labas and wala gaanong tumatakilik sa businesses nila. So siguro na-torn lang din sila in between closing the business or laying off workers.
It's true.
So true, man. Word, man. So as a matter of fact, my dad who is actually a business owner, had a difficult time trying to adapt with the situation too. He actually had to move to another office with low cost, had to help recruitment, as this would only increase expenses and salary. And he had to also close multiple branches that wasn't doing well. So kaya I observed that I also observed that some companies also do it when I try to look for a job.
Yes, agree ako sa sinabi ni Samuel. May mga nagsara na companies kasi hindi na nila kaya bigyan ng sweldo yung employees nila. And yung iba naman, in terms of safety, nagbabawas sila ng number of workers. So actually, marami pa yan. Marami talagang dahilan kung bakit nga ba may unemployment sa bansa natin. Lalo na sa panahon ngayon, a lot of things happened during the pandemic and maraming sectors yung naapektuhan. And kasama na dito yung mga trabaho ng tao. So, yun lang naman.
Actually, pansin ko nga that majority of you agreed na tumaas talaga yung unemployment rate. And most of you based it sa mga nababasa nyo and the like. So, other than Samuel, do you guys have any experiences kung baga on this? Or parang may kakilala ba kayo in ever?
Sige, I'll start muna. Personally, I haven't experienced it pa naman since hindi pa ako nag-work. Pero may mga kakilala ako na nawalan ng trabaho because of the pandemic nga. So, I'll use my tita na lang as an example. Yung story kasi niyan, she was about to retire na from her job. She works at a school, by the way. But yeah, she was about to retire na from her job. Pero na-extend pa yung contract niya for 2 years. Kaso, yun nga, na-timingan, nagkaroon bigla ng pandemic, kaya tinanggal na rin siya. So, malamang, nabigla siya kasi ina-expect niya na may matatanggap pa siyang sweldo for 2 years. So yun, buti na lang yung cousin ko may trabaho na. So may source of income pa rin sila kahit papano. But yeah, I guess this is an example of our situation right now na tinatanggal yung mga employees from their jobs kasi hindi na kaya ng company or ng employer sila sweldahan. So paano na lang kaya yung iba, diba, na walang backup plan like my tita, she has my cousin, at least isa sa kanila, merong way of earning money for the family. So, yun.
Grabe.
Tama.
Grabe hearing Eunice story. Parang mapapasabi ka, parang grabe talaga yung epekto
Totoo.
sa isang tao. Pero ayun, going back, dami ko ang chika. Sa akin naman, mababaw lang siya, unlike with what Eunice shared. It's a story of my brother naman. Kasi siya talagang hirap na hirap siyang humanap ng trabaho ngayong pandemic kasi nagtanggal ata or nagbawas ng employee sa company na pinagtatrabaho niya. Alam niyo, as in, kung saan-saan siya nagpapasa ng mga resume niya, may tumatawag sa kanya for interview, pero after interview, wala nang paramdam like dead man na. Pero alam niyo, feeling ko, isang factor na naka-apekto niya, siguro hindi siya college graduate. Pero ang dami ko nang sinasabi, pero gusto ko lang sabihin na at least, my brother still look at the better side. Hindi siya tumigil and hindi niya hinayaan yung sarili niya maging unemployed for the rest of his life. So, ang nangyari, he started his own business naman. Ikaw, Elvin, may share ka pa?
Ako, personally, walang experience kasi student pa lang naman ako. And I'm lucky enough that my parents are able to support my needs. Pero a friend once told me about his tita regarding this. Yung tita niya daw is nag-work as a laboratory custodian sa isang famous school around lang din sa Manila. She's been with the institution for about 27 years. Kaso ayun nga, since walang laboratory ang mga students, the school had to lay her off and parang narinig ko din na bumaba yata ang enrollment rate ng school. So the school had no choice but to lay off their workers who were not that vital sa online setup. Luckily, she was offered an early retirement package. Pero nakakalungkot lang isipin na willing pa talaga mag-work yung tita niya, but had no choice to accept the retirement offer from the school.
I see. Well, thank you all for sharing your stories with us. I'm really sorry that happened to you and the people that you know. It really sounds like a challenging experience, though we're glad that you're all holding up well. And we've already heard a few of your thoughts, though it would also be nice to hear what exactly are your personal views and opinions on this matter?
So, ako na lang siguro ulit, bida-bida ako, pasensya na. Pero ayun na. As I have
Wala.
mentioned earlier, na yung social issue nga about unemployment is, alam nyo, matagal lang hindi siya nasosolusyonan in the Philippines. And alam nyo ba, when speaking about unemployment, marami akong actually naririnig sa mga tao. Yung iba, sinasabi na there is unemployment kasi there is discrimination within the job requirements, which is something I agree na isa ito sa mga talagang causes of unemployment.
Tama.
Isa din yan sa mga pinaka-concern ko about unemployment. The irrationally high requirements for someone to get a job. I actually saw a posting about a cashier that requires a bachelor's degree.
Grabe naman yan.
So, Alam mo ba may iba pang companies na sobrang mapili, like they will not accept you kapag hindi ka college graduate, like kahit na you have a better and good experience or mga skills pa with other college graduates, mas pinipili pa rin nila yung mga nakapagtapos. Especially like with what happened ngayong pandemic na most companies, tuwing may tanggalan mas pina-priority nilang tanggalin yung mga hindi college graduate, ewan ko ba?
Oo, samantalang sa ibang bansa nga, ang mga estudyante can take good part-time jobs. Not only this teaches independence, pero nakakapag-build din ng financial stability ang mga bata. Unlike dito sa Pilipinas na sobrang hirap.
Oo, totoo yan. Ang hirap talaga dito sa bansa natin. And gusto ko lang i-try connect sa friend ko who lives in Canada. Student pa lang siya and kaka-migrate niya lang actually. And may job na siya kaagad. So kitang-kita pa lang dito how easy it is to get a job in another country kahit wala kang experience. Dito kasi, parang ang dami pang qualifications bago ka nila kunin. And I think yun din yung reason kung bakit ang taas ng unemployment rate dito sa Philippines.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Eunice that companies should ease the requirement of getting hired. I mean, this would give us students perhaps with no experience leverage into the workforce.
Tama. Siguro another reason why tumataas din yung unemployment rate dito kasi walang ginagawa yung government to properly address the issue. Parang hinahayaan lang kasi nila mangyari to and minsan lang sila nagbibigay ng tulong. Especially during this pandemic, parang wala akong nabalitaan na nag-implement sila ng projects or programs that would help in providing a source of income for the people.
Oh, true.
I really believe that poverty alleviation can be solved through employment. But the problem is, there are no available jobs for everyone to take. You cannot acquire things that are simply not there. If walang trabaho, walang trabahente. Walang giginhawa ang buhay.
Well, I guess one way to solve this method is to solve unemployment in the Philippines, to promote opening business. I mean, if you can't get employed, at least give a chance for the unemployed to create their own business. So I guess the government can achieve this by revamping the process into opening the business.
Tama. And yun nga, just like what our fellow guests have said, di naman namin sinasabi na school and studying are unnecessary. Ang kailangan naman natin talaga is to perhaps not overdo yung mga standards when it comes to certain jobs. Kasi it ends up making it difficult for those in poverty to acquire those opportunities naman. So parang with that said, for you guys, what do you believe we can do as students or as citizens to help reduce the country's unemployment rate? Do you guys have parang any words to say for those who are struggling?
Siguro, the thing that I can do to help is fight for causes for employment. I mean, far-fetched siya and medyo mahirap pakinggan pero sharing simple job posting para matulungan ang iba na makapag-apply sa mga trabahong sa tingin nila magta-thrive and mag-excel sila. On things naman that I can say, siguro gusto ko iparating sa lahat na know your worth. Huwag sana nila hayaan na ma-oppress sila ng big companies over small compensation.
Tama.
Kasi madaming ganyan eh. Yung dapat mas mataas ka sa minimum wage, hindi nila binibigay ng makatarungan yung sahod mo or ino-overwork ka. Minsan kasi yan din dahilan kaya overconfident ang employers na mang-oppress kasi alam nila tao ang magko-crawl back sa kanila.
True.
Sa mga struggling naman to find work, try to ask for help na din siguro and look for postings online. Tsaka syempre, sana taasan din ang work ethic para naman mag-thrive sa ginagalawang mundo. Never lose hope.
Tama.
So, guys,
Never lose hope.
ay nako, pero ayun na nga, siguro for me, I will start it with myself na din. I will siguro motivate myself na makapagtapos ng college kahit na gaano pa kahirap ha. Kasi alam niyo, based on what I have said din earlier na parang there are several companies talaga na mas pinipili yung college graduate. So sa tingin ko, yun yung first thing kong kayang gawin, makapagtapos ng college. Pero other than this, siguro as a student pa lang, siguro we can use our social media platforms to educate other people about the social issue. Like, wag na tayong dumagdag pa sa mga nagsasabi na tamad lang ang mga Pilipino. Kasi alam
Tama.
naman natin na mayroon ding mali sa sistema ng paghahanap at pagkuha ng trabaho dito sa Philippines. Kaya maybe isama na din natin, i-criticize natin yung government sa lahat ng pagkukulang na response nila with this matter, 'di ba?
Tama.
Siguro all I can say na lang na to those who struggling from finding a job is ayun nga, never lose hope kasi hindi pa huli ang lahat. Tsaka if alam mo naman sa sarili mo na you are exerting effort and giving your best to the job search, it's not your fault. Pero alam mo minsan siyempre sometimes we do need to change something about our process and i-analyze natin yung what's happening and make a change through it. Kasi 'di ba malay mo for CEO pala kayo of your own business, 'di ba?
True. Sobrang agree ako sa inyong dalawa. Kahit mga bata pa lang tayo, marami ng paraan para makatulong tayong aksyonan ang issue ng unemployment sa Pilipinas. Like what Chel said nga, we can use our social media platforms in raising awareness about this by educating the masses. Kasi in my opinion, parang mas effective talaga pag magpupulong-pulong ang mga tao to fight for their rights and what they believe in. Also, yun nga, yung sinabi din ni Chel kanina na i-criticize din natin yung government sa pagkukulang nila. At syempre, wag natin kalimutan yung duty natin as good citizens. Wag lang din tayo puro asa sa gobyerno. Kung may nakikita tayong mali, we should do something about it. But of course, we should set limitations para may magawa din naman yung government since it's their job. But yeah, gusto ko lang sabihin sa mga nagsistruggle na hindi pa tapos ang lahat. Wag mawalan ng pag-asa kasi sa buhay na to, maraming pwedeng mangyari and mayroong darating para sa'yo. So, magsumikap ka lang at magtiwala sa sarili at sa Diyos, huwag yung nakalimutan na balang araw matutupad lahat ng pangarap mo. Yan.
Amen, amen.
Amen.
Yeah, so I totally agree with what most have said in here in the podcast. Medyo uga-buga yung sistema sa paghanap ng job. So, personally, I believe that there's a solution in every problem. So, as a student, what we should do is by focusing on trying to improve ourselves. If we can find a job, maybe try to improve yourselves. If you study in a really good school, perhaps use it as an advantage to learn skills. If you decide to find job at an early stage, know that rejection is a normal part of life. Just keep on trying and learn from your mistakes. Eventually, there will be a company that will hire you. So I mean, carpe diem, life is too short, so on and so on. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you guys.
Hey. Yes, that's very true. Our system is indeed very flawed now, and it's very challenging for us to get jobs and to make a living nowadays, even though
That's true.
Yep. So unfortunate, that's so sad that it's happening, right, to so many people who work so hard. But thank you guys so much for all of your answers. That was a wonderful
Yay.
discussion. Yep. However, just like all good things, unfortunately, our episode must come to an end.
But it was just getting so good.
It's okay, Hannah. There's always a next episode, and who knows?
Yay.
Maybe some of our guests might even be making a return. So stay tuned for that.
Oh, now that's something I'm looking forward to. I'm sure our listeners at home are waiting as well for the next episode after this.
All right. So once again, thank you so much for coming to our podcast, our guests here with us today, and as well as the audience at home. We hope you guys enjoyed the discussion we had. So, yep.
Yeah, and also, please don't forget to follow us on all of our social medias on Twitter, Instagram, and Spotify at The Jana Podcast to stay updated on our news episodes. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.